Hello, I'm Rosemary Tyrrell, the Director of the Office of Faculty Development for the UCR School of Medicine. Welcome to our series on online teaching tools and tips. This tutorial will show you how to create a discussion forum in your Blackboard course site. And when you're looking at your main page, you're going to want to scroll down here below this line where it says Course Management on the left-hand side. And you're going to want to open the button that says Course Tools. You're going to see that Blackboard has many different tools that you can use. But today we're going to work on the discussion board. So you're going to click on the discussion board tool and you're going to enter whatever course you want to add your discussion forum in. And then you want to just here on the left-hand side, you'll see a brown button that says Create Forum. And just click on that. And what I always would recommend that you start with is putting a questions and answers, or whatever you want to call it, forum in your discussion board and in your course site. That way students can ask and get questions answered. You'll go in there and answer their questions. And other students might even be able to provide an answer for them before you get a chance to. The advantage of this is that rather than having 77 students all sending you an email asking you the same question, they can post one question to the discussion forum and you can answer it for all the class. That's very similar to being in a face-to-face class. If someone raises their hand and asks a question, you don't whisper the answer in their ear. Everybody in the class gets to hear the answer, and this is helpful for that purpose. So you're going to give whatever title you want to give to your discussion board. And then here in this box, you're going to write down what the description is. So you might say something like, post here any questions you may have about this session or this course. And then you want to decide whether you want to make it available all the time, which is what I would recommend, or if you're going to have time restrictions. So in a multi-week course, for example, you may have different discussions during different weeks. So you may put them in here with different dates. But we're going to just leave this to the default setting of just making it available all the time. And you have to decide whether or not you're going to grade the forum or not. And for our purposes, for a Q&A forum, we're not going to grade that. If a student has a question, we're just going to answer the question. We're going to allow threaded assignments, and we're going to allow members to subscribe to the forum, because that way, if they ask a question, they'll get an email when that question is answered. I generally wouldn't recommend allowing anonymous posts, but for a Q&A board, you might want to consider that. That way a student doesn't have to reveal that they were the one who had the question. I also normally don't allow the author to delete posts, but we could also do that here. You could say all posts. They can, if they change their mind and they ask a question and then later they find the answer in some other materials and they feel like they don't want that posted anymore because they don't want everyone to see that they didn't understand it first go around, they can go back and delete it. I do always allow the author to edit their own posts. And we can allow members to create new threads. We can allow file attachments. We can allow users to reply with a quote. So I wouldn't allow members to rate posts, but that's entirely, again, up to you. And then over here on the right-hand side, we are going to hit the Submit button. And there it is. That's just that easy to create a discussion board post. But right now, the students wouldn't be able to find the post if they wanted to ask a question. So we want to make sure they can see that. We're going to go up here and we're going to hover over that little plus sign. And because what we want to do is add a link to that discussion board tool, we're going to click on the tool link. And we're going to say, questions and answers discussion board, or whatever you want to call it. And then of course we want to make sure that it's going to the right tool, that it's linking to the discussion board. So drop down that menu and select discussion board. We also want to make it so that users can see it and then click submit. And Blackboard puts everything at the bottom, so we maybe want to move that up so that students can see it a little more easily. So I'm going to move it right to the top so that if anyone has a question, they can click on there. And now what students will do is they will click on the question and answer discussion board, and then they can create a thread. So they might want to create a thread about, a certain area. So they might, whatever their question thread is. So that might be about clinical rotations or whatever the topic is. And then they put their question or their message in here. And they can click if they want to post it as an anonymous message. If they have any attachments, they can attach those as well. And then they can submit. And as the instructor in the course, you're going to automatically be subscribed to the discussion board. They can choose to subscribe to it as well so that they get an email when anybody responds to their question. And that's really all there is to a discussion board in Blackboard. If you have any questions, please feel free to call the Office of Faculty Development.